Hey guys, Madballer here, and welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be going up against Shen in the top lane. For my runes, I'll be running Lethal Tempo with Legend Bloodline, Transcendence, and Nimbus Cloak. The Shen matchup's a fairly interesting one because Shen does outtrade you fairly heavily in the early levels, up until about level 6. Once you hit level 6, obviously you do win the all-in with your role, but Shen does trade very hard with his empowered Q and grasp in the early game. So early on, what we do want to do if we can is shove the wave into tower, shove the first 2 waves and then bounce the third back. If we can do that, then we can set up a freeze when we get close to level 6, and we can be safe from jungle ganks. The jungle matchup is Graves versus Hecarim, so we are, I guess, fairly even and maybe favoured early on, but I don't really want to take any risky 2v2s if I don't have to, and you can easily win the lane through just macro. So just shoving this in, because we want to get a ward down as soon as possible. And we are able to just barely get this under the tower, which is thankful. Dodge the taunt, but you can see here just how hard Shen is trading in the early game. That's okay, we've taken Bloodline, we've got the healing from our Q so we can sustain through it. Now the wave's in a perfect spot. As you can see, he's going to start pushing back towards us. We can play fairly safe, and we have got our ward down. We do need to be careful of Hecarim coming through river a little bit later, around 3 minutes or 3 minutes 10. But apart from that, we will see him if he comes through, try for an early gank. Now about this time, we want to watch out for Shen's taunt, because if he does taunt onto us, he's going to get quite a strong trade with grasp up. So we want to sit further back. We're not going to miss any CS right now because it is pushing quite heavily. So just play it safe and we can collect all these CS under tower in a minute. We do see Hecarim bottom, so we are completely safe, and we do have Graves taking Scuttle at the moment, so there's no risk of anything. I will hold the wave a little bit outside tower, as you see here, just to make it a little bit easier last hit. I wasn't able to save that one, unfortunately, but we do get that one there. Now Graves is coming in for a gank, but we want to be a little bit careful because there is a lot of minions built up, but considering we do have our healing, we should be able to beat Shen here. So kite away from his W. I will ignite him and kite away with my Q, so I have baited him fairly well here, and then we just want to play back a little bit and let Graves auto him. Wait for the right time, and then we can pick up the kill. So the important thing here, and you'll see me do, is I ping Graves off the wave. That's because the wave's pushing back to me, but it's pushing slowly back. So I can run straight back to lane, and Shen's going to miss a lot more than I am, and he's going to have to TP back, as you can see here. If he doesn't TP back, he's going to miss that cannon and the entire wave. If I'm lucky, my wave will get there before it hits tower. So on first back, I'm going to get Tiamat. You always want to go Tiamat in the Shen matchup because you don't have a lot of kill pressure like you do in some other lanes. And the most important thing you want to do against Shen is keep him pushed to his tower. Shen is absolutely miserable if he's at his tower because he can't ult away. If he does, he's going to lose plates and CS. And he also has to last on the tower, which he's not the best at. Some dodgy last hitting under tower, unfortunately, but we should be able to pick it up. So once we hit level 6, it does get a lot better for us. Shen doesn't have a combat ult, and you have one of the best combat ults in the game, obviously. So we want to shove this in, but once we hit level 6, we can look for a kill. But the important thing we want to be doing is to making sure that Shen's stuck to lane. You can see he's gone mid. But once he's got his ult, you want to make sure he's stuck in the top lane and he can't do anything. So it is past 5 minutes, so we can look to take a tower plate. For those of you that don't know, towers have additional resistance to damage before 5 minutes, so it is a lot harder to take a plate, but you can see Shen's roam does cost him a plate, which is great for us. You can see he's rushing out Ninja Tabis. Once he gets Ninja Tabis, it's going to be even harder to kill. So we take a trade there. It's not too bad. It's not great, but it's not really a threat considering how much healing we have. The other great thing about Tiamat in some lanes which can trade well into is you can use Tiamat to pick up cannons fairly safely from a distance. So it does enable you to farm. Lanes where that's quite useful as well are lanes like Darius. Darius is quite a tough matchup for Tryndamere. So you can use your Tiamat with the outskirts of the Tiamat to farm cannon. But you can see here just how much control over the wave Tiamat's giving us. Shen's about to hit level 6, probably on the next few minions, but if he, there he hits level 6. But you can see if he were to ult now, he's going to miss 3 or more waves, and I could get close to taking first turret. So he's in a really bad spot in terms of looking to ult. Now obviously Tryndamere has no hard CC, so he can't stop his ult. But if he does try to ult out, I will try and damage him as much as possible, and even possibly ignite him, just to make it a little bit easier for my teammates when they get to him. Kali is pinging miss, but I'm not really worried about a Kassadin gank this early on, particularly with how little damage Shen has as well. So just perma pushing the wave in. Shen can't contest it. It's easier for us to get all the CS, and we can deny him some CS under tower. And go to ward try rush again for a Hecarim gank. So just overall, I guess the Shen matchup is a little bit, you need to play a little bit passive before level 6. If you get a gank, then obviously, like we did with Graves, you can kill him. But it's quite difficult generally to get a solo against a good Shen. But once you level 6, the lane becomes yours, and I think it is overall quite a good matchup for Tryndamere. You just need to play those early levels a little bit safer. So I do see Graves fighting on the red buff, so I will rotate immediately, and I'm going to ping the Akali to make sure the Akali comes as well, because Kassadin is missing. Graves does a great job of kiting out here, so I am able to E-flash onto the Hecarim and pick up the first kill. Graves is going to get out safe, and we get the Shen. So that was a really good job by the team overall. Graves for invading, Akali for following, and Graves did a great job of kiting out that and not actually dying. So that's an absolutely huge play for the overall game, because I get double buffs, a kill and an assist, and put Shen further behind. Once Shen's behind, it's very hard for him to come back. Now we can pick up maybe a plate or two before Shen gets back, because he did use TP earlier on. It is on CD, so we can pick up a couple of plates and then back with a lot of gold. Let's pick up 2 plates. We are going to look to get probably get our level 2 boots here and start working to Essence Reaver. So that's a really fantastic buy. It's a huge power spike for us, and we can probably threaten Shen in a 1v1 if he does over push. If Graves wants, we can take the first tower. But it probably is better to take mid tower, because I'm fine top with this lead. And yeah, Shen's ult is still down. So Graves is looking for a gank, so I'm not shoving the wave just yet. Like I mentioned, I don't think we're going to get much there. Hecarim is bot again. So we do have an opportunity if we want. So we are going to end up taking the first tower, which is not a bad play. It's a safe play. We get a lot of gold from it. We also get some map pressure as well. We probably could have gone a bit more aggressive here, if I'm honest. But we do burn the Shen flash nevertheless. But if we'd gone a bit early, we might have been able to get the kill. I do want to walk this Rift Herald in as far as possible, so we can get the tower damage, if possible. We are already able to get that off. And you can say I'm doing a lot of damage to Shen now. As you may have seen in previous videos, I do want to take the jungle camps as much as possible. It's easy gold. You don't lose any HP as Tryndamere, particularly when you're running Bloodline. I think that's one of the main advantages of running Bloodline, is that you have the ability to farm off jungle camps without losing HP or losing any time on the map. So you just want to keep pressuring Shen. Team does a good job and gets the Moundrake. So keep pressuring Shen out as much as possible. We can trade tower shots for autos because we are going to heal more than him. But we do see Hecarim and Yumi and Shen following. Now my first tower is up, so I just want to kite this back as far as possible. I am autoing to try and get my ECD down. And the important thing is trying to ult as late as possible, so I get ult off really late. And I am able to take this under tower. And pick up the 1v3. This is probably the biggest turning point in the game. I think I wasn't that far ahead before this, but luckily they made a bit of a poor tower dive. I'm able to pick up the triple kill. So the key thing there was being a little bit greedy with my ult. I could have popped it earlier, but since Hecarim doesn't have any burst damage, and nor does Yuumi, I'm able to time that a lot better than I would be against a burst champion. So I was able to ult with about 30 HP left. If I hadn't done that, I wouldn't be able to pick that up because I think they would have been able to time my ult out before they died to the tower and my autos. So really tight play there, but I was able to time my ult quite late and that way get away with it. It's fairly standard build this game. I'm just gonna rush out my Essence Reaver and go towards Stinger. So Essence Reaver, Stinger, IE with the core. And then I need to make a decision whether or not to finish Triforce or go for a different item like Rage Blade or Mortal Reminder is generally what you'd go for. So there's no dragon on the map, and bot lane's doing quite well, so I can probably just go back top. If dragon was up, I look to rotate bottom because Shen can't shove very fast. He's probably not going to take my tower, and I can look to take a dragon. But in this case, I'm just going to keep pressuring top, and I can definitely 1v2. I can definitely 1v2 Shen Hecarim. If it's a 1v3, I need to be under my tower. Again, golems are up. Pick up a couple of 100 gold from that. You can see my team overall is not doing that well, so I do need to be really careful this game because I am most of our kills and gold. I can't, if I die and give a couple of shutdowns, I could be in quite a bit of danger. So we do need to be smart about how we play this game, because if we are probably the win condition, and we do need to carry if we're going to get away with this. Yeah, so Shen doesn't have the damage, and I can pick up the second turret. That's really good because it opens that map up even further for me to rotate. Because you can see bot lane is dying again, so we are going to need to rotate and help our team. When your team's this far behind, it does become a little bit difficult to split push, which is why you do need to group with your team when they're that far behind. So I'm going to have to look to team fight. Unfortunately, I prefer to split push, but again, in a game like this where I have 5 of our 9 kills, I probably need to split. I probably need to team fight. Luckily, we are able to pick up another big wave, which is good for us, but it's also bad in the sense that the vast majority of our gold is going towards me. You can see I've already got a 600 gold bounty at this time, so going back to what I was saying about playing as safe as possible, if we pick up a death, that's going to be 900 to 1,000 gold going over to the enemy team, and that could easily put the game away considering how tight it is already. If I can get a teammate to come, we can look for a player here, but since they're a little bit, they're not quite there on the map, we're going to have to play this a little bit cautious. But I will continue to counter jungle the Hecarim. This is huge. The ability to deny Hecarim more gold, and Hecarim is a very gold reliant champion because he just goes in, right? If he goes in and doesn't have the items, he'll just die. So denying more CS is fantastic, but we can look for a play mid here. Yep, so we'll wait in the fog of war. We can burn Hecarim's ult and Shen's ult fairly easily. Now I just wanted to kite that out there rather than continue to engage. Part of the reason for that was that Yuumi's ult was going off and there's a ton of CC there, so I wasn't going to get anything done. The other thing is that we could just push mid with Rift at no risk, so I can save my ult and flash for a later fight. by doing that, we get two turrets without really needing to take any risk. I was going to counter jungle, but we see Infernals up, and that's a big objective, so I'm just going to follow my team here rather than farm more. We are all fairly healthy, and most importantly, I still have ult and R. I'm at ult and flash, so we can get this fairly safely with no risk. I am picking my team back because I don't want to fight this. We need to spend our gold, but unfortunately we do start the fight. I will need to flash to get the movement speed from Nimbus here. But I picked up a double kill on the Hecarim and Lucian, which was fantastic. And taking red buff as well. It needs to go on me. At this point with how fed I am, I'm the best person to take it. And I was taking Graves jungle, but he's coming. I did think he was going bot side, but he was coming for that. And I'll say my bad. I didn't realize he was coming to farm his jungle camps. And in the same spirit, I'll leave up his golem and wolves. It's probably the safest option rather than just taking it is to avoid your teammates, because you don't want to upset your teammates in solo queue and end up with a troll or an AFK and lose the game because of that. I'm picking my team back just because of the simple fact that they're not going to win the fight without me. If they fight, they'll die. So if they can hopefully they'll listen, but we just want to play it safe for now. So this is a really good item buy time. I was looking for that 2.9 gold because I can finish my IE, finish my Stinger, and now I'm at Tryndamere's core itemization. Infinity Edge, Essence Reaver, Stinger. T-Mat's optional, but the trio of the previous trio gets you to 40% CDR and 100% crit with Fury, which basically means you can build whatever you want after that. It's situational buys after this. You can usually go into things like you can finish Triforce, Rage Blade's very good against any tanks, Mortal Reminder, Blade of the Ruin King. I'll build any of those on a game-by-game basis. It just depends on the particular game. This game, I think I'll be going Triforce because I don't have any super tanks that I need to burn through. I am team fighting, and Triforce is a much better team fight item because of the burst from Shen. So if you are team fighting, usually look to go Triforce. QSS is also a good option as well. If they have a lot of CC, you can just go QSS. So against teams like TF, Nami, Sona, any sort of hard CC, I'll look to go QSS if I'm team fighting. Shen is isolated here, so I can just we can look to kill him here. And Taric ult is huge. I wasn't sure if I had the movement speed, so I just ignited him and for time as well. But we are getting to the tower for free. It does look like we're shaping up for a fight. I do see Hecarim going for an isolated Kate, so I'm going to rotate over immediately. Kate does a good job of kiting him out anyway, but we're able to save the Kate. She may have been able to win the 1v1 anyway, but it's good to be safe. I'm not really sure what my Graves or Kali are doing. Like I said, my team was not doing fantastic this game. Taric gets a good flash done, and we can engage the fight. But there's no real reason for us to still be here. Now I'm going to try and cut it out. I chunk Hecarim for about half his HP fairly easily and fairly safely, so we are able to disengage there as well. Infernal is probably our next objective. It's up in a minute. So I'll just pick up a couple of jungle camps and then back. Anytime you're playing a hyper carry or a farm heavy carry like Tryndamere, Yi, Fiora for example, you need to be trying to pick up farm as often as you can. Honestly, your champion needs farm a lot more than often your teammates. So it is okay to take CS. It is solo queue. As long as your team's not paying attention and not actively asking you not to, it's fairly safe to take it, because I know that if I get the items I need, I can carry the team fights in this particular game. And so I'll just be trying to take as much farm as possible. So I was ideally looking to split top because they wanted to send at least one or at least two, probably three, to stop me getting inhibitor. But Tarek makes the call to go for Baron, which is actually a fantastic idea. The enemy team's going to be tunneling on, stopping us getting Soul, and you can see they're heading there. So this is actually a really, really smart call, and I'm fully on board. We can trade one Infernal. We can always get Soul later. We can trade an Infernal for Baron. and Graves is actually able to steal it, so we get the best of both worlds. We pick up the free soul, and we are able to get Baron as well. But full credit to Tarek. This is a really, really smart call considering the game situation and what the enemy team would be looking to do. However, we do have two teammates dead, so we want to wait for that point. I can just push out another wave as I do see Hecarim looking for a play mid. Again, they're fighting an extended fight. I don't want to be there. I don't really want to rely on a 5v5 with a team that's struggling a little bit, so I'm just going to push, right? They haven't backed yet. I have a ton of damage, and if only 2 or 3 back, they're not going to be able to fight me. So I'm just going to try to speed up in and pick up the free inhibitor. I see Hecarim backing now, and his back being cancelled. So that's a free play. The key thing there was not looking to group. The team was fighting a bit of a stupid fight in the topside jungle with no objective up, no reason to fight. So I just looked to play for the objective rather than play for kills. As I play more Tryndamere games, you'll see this trend sort of continue. Tryndamere does a ton of damage, and I have flash and ignite up, but fighting a fight in the jungle for no reason is fairly pointless. There's no objectives to take. There's no Barragan, there's no Baron. Again, a random fight breaks out bot lane. Why? Doesn't matter. I'm just going to run mid, pick up the free inhibitor. Inhibitor is going to do a lot more for us than around 1 or 2 kills. Enemy team has followed them for some reason, and at least Tarek is the right idea. So we've picked up 2 inhibitors in the space of 2 minutes at 0 risk. Almost pick off Lucian there, but he did pick up the red buff, which I was looking for, and we're back. Pick up a couple of pinks. Particularly on Tryndamere, I always want to pick up 2 pinks when I back. There's a couple of reasons for that. One, as the fight breaks out, and my team gets caught again. One, Tryndamere split pushes a lot, so you need vision, more pinks, more vision, right? And secondly, you have so much gold from farming that you can afford it, more than perhaps a more farm-starved champion. I'm at 10 CS a minute. I'm really rich. I can afford 150 gold in a back. If you were playing a champion that farms less, obviously 1's probably enough on your budget, but with how much farm you get, there's no need to cheap out on warding. So we just want to pressure this out. With 40% CDR, I have a ton of kiting potential. As you can see, casting with Yuumi, can't catch me, right? So you're fairly safe, and a lot of it's knowing the limits of your champion and knowing who's on the enemy team. But particularly with this much CDR at this point in the game, you can kite away fairly easily. You can see Tarek is pushing solo top. He had a fairly good game, but again, I'm not sure what's going on there. But being this ahead, I'm not really 100% worried about what my team does. If they can distract the enemy team, I can win the game on my own. And if we do pick a good team fight, I can probably carry anyway. I might be able to 1v2 the Cass and Yuumi, but I don't know where Hecarim is. So I might as well play it safe, particularly with the 1,000 gold bounty. So while I'm waiting, I'll just pick up the golem. You can just pick this up in between waves because you do need your wave, of course. I think we should be pushing bot. We could probably push this bot as 5 now. Hecarim's looking for an engage, but my team's not there, and I can't obviously fight 1v5, so I'll back up. I'm just getting a little bit a little bit. I probably should have kept. Probably should have not been typing, but I was getting a little bit frustrated that we couldn't just group in the game, considering how far ahead we were. Again, there's a fight breaking out, but I have no minion waves, so I need to look to join this, unfortunately. Been able to burn Lucian flash. I go on Lucian there. Can burst him out through Shen ult. And this looks to be the final fight. For the first time this game I miss ult. That was unfortunate. I should have been a little bit less greedy considering Cassian's burst, but we are able to pick up the team fight 4 kills to 0 as Kate was already dead. So it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, and we can finish off the game here. So the first time we pick a good fight, we just end up winning the game. As always, if you guys like this gameplay commentary, feel free to drop a like down below or subscribe to the channel. I've been playing a lot more Tryndamere recently, so expect to see a lot more gameplays of Tryndamere and high elo coming out. Thanks for watching everyone, and as always, good luck in solo queue.